Mossberg 590, 12 gauge, 20 inch cylinder bore, ghost ring sights. We also got a Benelli in there. A little bit of comparison to that. This is not an A1. This is just a 590. I believe it's called the special purpose, the SP. A lot of people really fret over whether it's an A1 or not. I guess we can start there. Do you need an A1? That's up to you. As I always say, it's up to you. They cost more, they're a little bit heavier. I think the only difference is it's marked A1. They got a metal trigger guard, and the thickness of the barrel is a little bit more. You're never probably going to have a problem on any of those. Maybe for the military, I can see why they went with a little bit thicker barrel. Maybe, for whatever reason they can come up with the thicker barrel was warranted. Maybe the metal trigger guard I can see in the military, because these are going through some tough times. As far as a civilian version and stuff, I don't think you'll ever have a problem out of that. You got to think that a shotgun like this in the military, it's not so much that the person that's using it as it is the people that are using it, plural. This shotgun may have to last 20 years in the military. So when they're dropping it and stuff over time, this it could eventually break. I doubt it, but it could. As far as the barrel, I'm not really sure. Maybe a little debris in there and stuff they're worried about. Bowing the barrel, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Who knows about that? Why they decided a bigger barrel. The regular 590 is just fine for me. I've actually tried selling this gun before, and you can see that I still have it because everybody wanted the 590 A1. They're like, is it an A1? Is it an A1? No, it's not an A1. It's just a 590. Oh, I don't want it then, man. Okay. So keep that in mind if you get one and you decide to sell it. You are going to be molested by the buyers because it's not an A1. And even if you put A1 in the ad or wherever you're selling it at, sell it legally. Here we can sell to individuals as long as they have a FOID card and you do the background check on them on their FOID card. Follow your local laws before you sell a gun. But they will molest you, and I say molest. they will harass you over it not being an A1, 100%. So keep that in mind if you ever decide to sell this gun. You're gonna have a tougher time because it's not an A1. It's kind of like getting a base model vehicle as opposed to the top model. The Mustang. Just the regular. As opposed to the GT. Everybody wants the GT on the used market. So that's even though this gun does the same thing as the other gun. Some people are anal about that. Me, not so much. As long as the price reflects it. Of course, if somebody's trying to trade this off as an A1 and A1s are more expensive, then, obviously I understand that. As long as the price reflects it, I say that the 590 SP, just a regular 590, is more than adequate. It is a fantabulous pump action shotgun. We were shooting Remington 870s in this one day. We had the really cheap stuff, and the Remington 870s, it kept getting stuck. And this was the only gun that would just chew it up. They had to keep pile driving their 870s to get it out. It was just getting stuck in the chambers, and I guess you can contribute the reason why it was getting out because it's got dual extractors. It's got two of them. I think maybe that did actually give the advantage of this gun by getting it out. A little more force to pull it out. So take that for what it's worth, which I think, it could be worth something. It could be worth something. I thought it was kind of cool. I really never thought anything of the dual extractors. I'm like, dual extractors. What does that mean? Well, that day it meant something. I think it did, unless it was something else, but I kind of contributed to that. Was it? I think so. Your mileage may vary. Mossberg's famous tang-mounted safety. This one's a little bit tougher. This one is a little bit tougher to push. Not quite as smooth as my 930. Ghost ring sights. These sights are okay. Adequate. Definitely adequate. The front one, I don't know if you can see that. That's a decal on there. And it's... I don't know how well it's coming across. The decal is just a little bit crooked on there. Just a little bit. Nothing that's going to hinder the accuracy or anything. It's just the decal. And I don't know if this is luminescent or not. Let me see if this is... It's not. It's not luminescent. Actually, while I got that out, I might actually put some luminescent paint on there. This is 8+1. 8 in a tube and 1 in the chamber. That's kind of cool for a 20-inch barrel. And this one does have a 20-inch barrel. It's definitely awesome, especially when you look at the Benelli there. They're both about the same length, even though the Benelli has a 19.5-inch barrel. Kind of see, it's kind of wild how that one, they fit an extra round in there. It's pretty cool, in my humble opinion. And that's with 2 3/4. If you go to 3, you probably go down to 8+1. Might even go to 7+1, depending on which round you choose. But yeah, don't don't mark the regular 590 off the list. I mean, if you want an A1, get an A1. I'm not saying don't get an A1. I'm just saying don't mark it off the list just because it's not an A1. I think the scum will outlast you. It will outwork you and outlast you. These are great. The 590s, and I got the bayonet lug up here. Does that mean anything? Not really. It's kind of cool, but not really. The barrels do not interchange with the Mossberg 500s. It's a completely different type of barrel system, the way it goes on there. They will not interchange, so if you got a Mossberg 500, the 590 barrel will not go on either one. Neither one of them are swappable. The loading on these is really cool because you could just drop the shell in there like that, and these are snap caps. It's just butter smooth while loading these. I mean, it's just simple. It's just really simple. It's kind of fun to load it. The spring isn't as tough as some other springs. I think that was 8. So that's definitely an advantage over a lot of guns. The Ithacas are like those too, where they got the open loading port, and you just slip them down in there. They load so much easier than even this one, which loads easily. Not quite as easy as this one. Another thing you can do with this one is you can hit the shell release, which is on this side. It's up against there. If you just put your finger there, you can unload it without having to rack it. How awesome is that? Now, you can do this on other guns too, but it's harder. Like this one, it's very tough to get that, to do that. This one right here is a 5-year-old could do that. Not that a 5-year-old should be handling your gun. Just saying the strength of a 5-year-old's finger can, hit that to unload it. So, I mean, if you got a son or daughter that goes hunting and you don't want them racking them out, you may choose this design, and the 500s are just like that. The Maverick 88s, I mean, it's that easy, and you see that right there. hitting it like that. I don't know how good that is. Definitely want to hit the fire and the primer on there, but still probably wouldn't hurt it. Yeah, it's just an easy loading gun, man. You see how much force it takes. It's just like butter, man. Like butter. That's one of the things I love about this. And then, like I said, you just take it out. If you didn't know that trick, you're welcome. And I'll try to get the light down in there so I can show you that little button. Let me turn my light real quick. Turn it down. See right there? Let's see if I can hold this like this. Right there. See it? Just push on it. Just push on it, and that gets it out. That little lever right there. That's your shell stop. It holds it. Like I said, on this one right here, it's a little bit. You can hear that click. It's harder to get it in there. And see, like right there, you can hear that click, and then when you put your finger up in there, you can't unload this one as easy as the other one. You can do it if I had the other hand, but it's definitely a lot tougher. And that could be because this gun's never been shot before. Whenever I got it, it's no rounds through it. Whenever I got it, so everything is still tight on it. The tolerances on this one definitely seem to be a little looser than on a Benelli. That's good or bad. I think on a shotgun, it's fine. It's not an issue, but that's definitely something that the Mossbergs excel at is, the ease of loading, the ease of unloading. You can be a little bit safer without having to put a round in the chamber each time. Obviously, what you would do in that situation is unload all these and then rack the one out, because if you rack the one out, then you're going to put a new one in there. These right here, I know a lot of people don't like these shell loops for the slings. Well, the problem with those is when you put a bunch of shells, like this one holds 15, I think. When you put a bunch of shells on it and you're trying to aim the gun, it's swinging and stuff. That's not real great. However, if you get these slings, you got a place to put rounds. Maybe just for the time being, maybe you can have them on there, and then whenever you get to wherever you're going, you can take them, put them in your pocket or whatever. Or if you just put like 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not too bad having only like 5 on there. But if you put all 15 of them on there, it's a little heavy. Having 4 or 5 extra ones on there is fine. And then I love these. You can see on a lot of my shotguns, I have these. There's really no downfall to having these on there. Where you can have a few extra rounds in there. Maybe the only downfall is if you got to shoot offhand, if you're right-handed, your cheek's going to be on this side. If you got to switch to left-handed, then your face is going to be on this side, which the shells are going to be up against it. Only disadvantage of that system is that. Not too much of a disadvantage, though. Yeah. Man, what's not to like about this gun? A lot of aftermarket accessories, different forearms, different stocks. As I said in the 930 versus M1 review, pistol grips don't work real great on these because of that. Keep that in mind. If you're buying a used one and it's got a pistol grip stock, definitely think about that. You may want to pass on that one because you got to take your hand off of this in order to actuate the safety. So keep that in mind on any Mossberg 500, 590, 930, any one of those. This is just a great option You know, what about versus an 870? Man, if you're talking self-defense, I think this one. If you're talking hunting, well, this really ain't a hunting shotgun. I mean, well, if hogs or something, but deer hunting, I mean, you could, as long as you follow your local laws on capacity, and you're going to have to put a plug in there, if your local laws say so. Follow your local laws by doing that. It's not a bird hunting gun and stuff, slugs, it'd be fine for deer. But yeah, I think for a self-defense shotgun, man, this may be number one on the totem pole for the size and weight, reliability, cost, ease of loading. Could be one of the best shotguns on the market, bar none. It's fast. To me, it's a little bit smoother than the 500s. That could just be because the gun's been shot a lot. One thing I don't like about the 500s and even the 590s, but I think the 500's a little worse, is, and this one isn't bad. You got a little bit of play, a little bit of slop. You hear that? I don't really care for that. My dad had a 500 that was really bad. I mean, that thing wobbled all over the place. I didn't care for that. Mini shells. You can get that little adapter to put in here. They're kind of okay. The only gun that I've found that can do the mini shells without any modifications, and you kind of got to do it fast. If you do it slow, then they can toss up in there is the Ithaca 37s. All the other shotguns I've tried them in, just racking them, 870s, older 870s. My FNP 12, which is a Winchester design shotgun. I've heard people say that you can use them in there without no modifications. In mine, you can't. I've tried it. This gun, same thing. The only gun that even somewhat does it is the Ithaca 37. So take that for what it's worth. Use regular shells in this 2 3/4. This takes 2 3/4 or 3. I got a video on 2 3/4 versus 3. I say stick with 2 3/4. They're more than adequate. Plus, you get more capacity, less recoil. The weight on this gun isn't bad either. It's not too bad. It's aluminum frame. It's steel where it needs to be, whereas an 870 is all steel. Sometimes a lightweight shotgun isn't a good thing because they can recoil heavily, and that's not a good thing. Your release button is right here on this. That's another reason why you don't want a pistol grip, because the pistol grip is going to block this, and you got to come off hand and hit that, and that's another reason why pistol grips don't excite me on Mossbergs. So, yeah. Anyways, 590, great gun. You don't have to get an A1 to get a 590. This one is just fine. Recommended. The extra thick barrel is a coolness thing, in my opinion. The trigger guard is mostly a coolness thing. It's just not necessarily. I've never seen anybody break a trigger guard, and I've got a lot of shotguns. Never broke a trigger guard. Never seen anybody break one. Never heard of anybody breaking one. In my humble opinion, for the most part, it's a coolness thing. Not that the metal trigger guard hurts anything, but the polymer one is just fine. It's amazing how polymer stocks is okay, and forms are okay, and polymer frame pistols are okay, but Lord, don't you dare put a polymer frame trigger guard on that shotgun. Don't you do it. That's ridiculous. It's fine. Even if you was to break it, break the trigger guard here, okay, so it's broke now. What's that, okay? I didn't really get the point of that, so you break it. Is it going to break completely off, or, this whole trigger breaks? No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You might crack it, maybe. There might be a video out there with somebody hammering with this, and eventually breaking it. The gun should still be functional, though. Now, obviously, you're not going to have a trigger guard around it, but I don't think that it's going to break the whole thing off. And if it does, I think the gun's still going to be functional. So it's kind of a goofy subject to dwell on. Some guys dwell on it, I think it's a little ridiculous myself, for whatever that's worth. But yeah, I'm going to end her here. I hope you liked it. You decided to get one. I think you made a good choice. Over and out.